Ooh, okay, we made it. So now, as anybody knows, we like to start off every one of our live streams by trying to tease the goblins out using as many snacks as we possibly can. But today, there were some sneaky ones that caught onto Brent's laptop a little bit late. So, needless to say, welcome to another Monday night live stream where we play ourselves some games and we hope to have a good time. And so, those of you that are new to the Monday live streams, this is where we play games. Obviously, we're busy people, so this is going to be more like a home game of D&D or any other role playing game that we have our hands on, where we will be playing through, learning the rules as we go sometimes, but honestly, just trying to have fun like any group of gamers do when they get together and try to run a game. So, that being said, we are going to be continuing our Age of Worms game by DC with using the system DC20. And one quick announcement: anybody that's paying attention to the DC20 success story that's going on knows that they just broke the stretch goal, 1.7 million. I think that was today. If my memory serves, my memory's a little blurry. It's like 100-degree heat here today, so I felt what Brent was feeling like when he was in Vegas. Just melty brained. So yeah, Agile confirms 1.7 million today. So a stretch goal was unlocked. There was actually some adventure stuff released. So pretty exciting. So if anybody's still interested, we did put the affiliate link in there. So if you want to click, check it out. Of course, if you want to support the Dungeon Coach in what appears to be a pretty fun looking game, you can get it on the Kickstarter. I think you only have 2 days left, 3 days.
It is a fun game. We have played it some.
7 days left. I'm sorry. I felt like it was like at the. Is it 7 days?
Yeah, I think so. Or 8 days almost.
Yeah, 7 days. So 1.7 million, 7 days left to go. Final stretch for anybody that's interested in backing this thing. Obviously, we have some backers here. We are excited to be getting our cool hardcover books when this ships. And hopefully we'll be playing the beta as soon as we get the document to kind of review some of the additional rules that come with that. I think that's going to be July something. So, and no, I don't think any of us have Max.
No, I know I don't. I've thought about it, but I haven't ever pulled the trigger.
Nah, I have seen a Mac in my house at one point, but I have never used one.
Me neither.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see the stretch goals getting hit. Hopefully we'll see this turn into a really good success. I would really be curious if we got them over the top and got to see some actual formal VTT support for those people that were interested in that type of that part of their gameplay. Just so anybody know, just so anybody knows, we don't typically use VTTs because we tend to play games, all variety of games and all that stuff. And if you're building, at least from my perspective, if I'm building the game from the ground up, I find it faster and easier to dive into a game just using my theater of the mind and all that stuff. And I also don't like to necessarily purchase products on VTTs unless I'm really interested in staying in that environment for quite a while. So, all right, Agile Monk. Ooh. All right. Yep. Well, I mean, I can't say Macs are bad, and I think bi-computational is the new
that's
word.
An interesting
of the day.
term, yeah. That's an interesting.
That's term. the new term of the day.
I tried.
Oh geez. Oh well, thank you.
Computational curious. I don't know if
I don't know where it goes. So yeah. I don't know where this actually goes from this point. Brent, Jeff, if you would like to derail us any further, now is your time.
Bi-computational is what derailed you entirely?
I know that I'm usually the derailer, but no, I got nothing this time.
All right. Okay. Well, let's. I've been watching a lot of Thomas the Train with the little kids, so lots about shunting cars. I hate that song. It's stuck in my head. Yep, it's counting, shunting cars, carrying freight. It's terrible.
At least it isn't like Baby Shark or whatever, like that old thing. That's
I'm
probably like
hoping
10
that
years old
that
by now.
like stays buried forever. Hopefully. So, are you guys ready to get started on this kind of stuff?
We are.
Yes.
Sweet. So
I did think of a retcon that we have to do for last week though, with my buying spree at the store at the quartermaster.
Sure.
Climbing equipment, because we might have to climb back down the elevator shaft.
Oh, fair enough. So basically a grappling hook and rope.
Yeah,
Sure.
because I we're not 100% sure that we can go. Like, do we think they connect enough to where we can go around them?
They might. We don't know. That's the problem. We don't know. Did you remember your 10-foot pole, Brent?
Well, we need hundreds of feet of rope, so I don't think I can carry the 10-foot pole.
Hi, Nikki.
Well, the 10-foot pole will, like you can just hang the rope off the back of it. You can carry it around, like, I figured you're strong enough. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm strong enough. I'm just,
not going to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Not a 10-foot pole. I'll carry the rope, like coils and coils of rope. Because what was it, like 85 stories down or something?
I don't think it was that far. I'm a little tired, Monk. I'm a little tired. I'm okay. It was a long weekend.
I'll give you, instead of making you roll or anything like that, it is about 60 feet.
60 feet. Okay, so sweet.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know where the hundreds of feet came from, but
I don't know. It sounded like there was a long. It was a long time we spent on the elevator.
Yeah.
Oh no. I
just think in Brent's head, every elevator is like 300 stories, like 1,000 feet.
I have this weird thing worrying about getting stuck in elevators. So yeah, kind of.
Okay, that's fair.
Thought it was 120. There may have been. I think the one they're thinking of is 60 feet. I don't recall that there was a.
Well, I mean, we didn't measure how far down the elevator was. There's the chain, which I think was like 60 feet. Yeah. But the elevator seemed much further than that. But I don't know. As much rope as I can carry. Let's say that. With everything else. So 60 feet of rope. Good. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, you can keep all that. So it might have been metric. I mean, we might have been dabbling in the metric system while we were at it. I don't think so. So,
all right.
Okay. Well then, so yeah, I think that you asking for climbing equipment before you've really gotten anywhere is totally fine. And I don't really think that, at least based on my read of it, I don't think there is actually a. There's no real adventuring packs or anything like that. That's supposed to come out in beta, so I'm not going to really worry about the small stuff about what the actual benefits of a grappling hook are, other than the narrative benefits.
Okay, cool.
So
other than the hope we don't fall again.
Oh geez.
That's 3 decimal places. That's very precise. 3.286 feet to a meter.
That's gonna be part of the math now.
No. Yeah, I don't want any rounding errors there, Foster.
Well, math is my strong suit, as he says. We know that's not the case.
Oh my god.
Using miles, clicks, or leagues.
We're using a sheet of paper and a side of a credit card and
a pencil.
What else did they use? They say
I thought there was a pencil or a pen.
Paper, card. Anybody is curious, that was kind of some of the initial talk about Daggerheart and how they were measuring distance on the table between stuff. That was their measuring thing, which is
common objects.
I thought it was an interesting approach to try to make common objects kind of like the sense of scale and all that, but it did seem weird at the time to be like, oh yeah, it's just a pencil length away. That's definitely in range. So I don't know about your pencil, but
yeah. I was just gonna say, to help with Agile Monk's OCD, I think we're hand waving long distances, like Mike's like, I think you can travel this far in that amount of time, and then we have to camp. So
yeah. we're being a little bit more. We're it's more fictional. The miles, and that seems like the right amount of miles. 15 kilometers.
Narrative. It's all about the narrative. We're far from simulationist.
There we go. And maybe we'll find a crunchy simulationist game, so Agile can really get us fixed as
God,
as we try to measure distances. And
you did want to try Lancer, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, you did want to try Lancer. You did mention that.
Yeah. So okay.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Anyways, we travel with the rope that I've always had
for the last week. So,
and how many Molotov and how many Molotov cocktails did we get? Like 5.
I was thinking 3. Because basically what you have is you have flasks of oil and some way to basically light a wick to turn them flammable. So. And one other thing that I want to mention to people that is probably something different than maybe you expect, especially since with the Kickstarter, there's actually a D&D 5e conversion. The adventure that we're playing, if you haven't been here before, is actually a 3.5 adventure. So I'm using 3.5 to DC20 conversions. So if monsters you're familiar with from a 5e perspective don't behave in exactly the way you expect, or items don't behave in the way you expect, it's because I'm converting from 3.5 to 5. Et cetera, et cetera. So just an FYI. Okay. All right.
3 oil flask firebombs. Gotcha.
Okay.
To throw at the brown slime thing.
Oh, that would be great. 1 brown slime isn't enough. It's
brown mold, you mean?
Or brown mold.
Yeah, brown mold. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, one.
Like, the one that grows in fire.
Yeah. I got it mixed up. Just kept on hurling napalm and brown mold.
I thought it was cold. Anyways.
Well, you want it to be cold. Okay.
So Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest. We got it. Let's go.
So yeah, you guys you made it to that old dilapidated mining office, and so as as the first rays of dawn pierce through broken shutters, you both start to stir, into your morning routine. The dilapidated mining office, it still carries that musty scent of earth and dust and old refuse from people that had used this for camping sites before that maybe hadn't cleaned up. And as you get ready for the day, obviously your bodies ache from having to sleep on the cold stone floor. Outside, the world is also waking up. Birds are chirping. They are oblivious to you, kind of going about their days. And you hear kind of a slight breeze pick up, kind of whistling almost through the cracks in the walls and everything like that. The Whispering Cairn awaits. So what are you guys going to do? You guys going to pick up, just go for it? Or how do you approach your day and your mission?
I think we need to get in and explore a little further now that we have more tools.
Yep.
I mean, I think we should watch out because didn't you tell me that there were reports of undead attacks on the uprise in the area?
But those are unrelated.
Okay.
Definitely not unrelated, or definitely not related. Correct. So why don't you tell me?
Did he just double reverse jinx us?
Maybe, but tell me exactly what your approach was. What do you feel is the mystery you're looking to solve first? Because you guys went back to town. You do have some things that you can use to start unraveling some of the areas that you didn't have access to before, possibly, depending on your approach. So where do you want to prioritize first? We'll kind of take this in sections.
So we have the brown mold, right? That is one problem. This is not in order yet. We have the brown mold. We have the underwater passage. We have the wind trap, right? Sorry, I'm taking notes.
The scary face.
The scary face with the wind trap. Mm-hmm. And then we have the sick room, right?
The room with fatigue, correct?
Was there anything else that you remember?
Well, and then there's the bugs are all one area, and then we have to get down to the bug area.
Well, yeah, the bugs are kind of around the sick room, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, there's two. Yeah, there was
the
two
brown
ways.
and the brown mold, right?
Yeah, there was two. Well, the brown mold was down the other
Okay.
elevator. The sick room and the bugs were down a different elevator, and those ones were the one, and that was where there was also the water.
Yep. So there were actually 3 things down one of the rooms. That would be the green lantern. If we're using the lanterns as kind of like landmarks for you.
The 3 that aren't the the ugly face with the wind are all under the green lantern.
Yeah. So there's just to kind of use the lanterns as our means of kind of wayfinding here. The green lantern is the one that had the bugs, the room of fatigue, where you guys kind of like,
and it's also wrecked now.
And the elevator is also wrecked now. Elevator is also wrecked. The blue lantern was the one that went up and went to the face trap, etc., etc., etc.
Right, but that didn't have an elevator. That just had a chain.
That just had you had to kind of climb up the entire thing. Okay. And then the last one was.
Do you think we should do
yellow lantern? Was the one that went down, but as you explored, you found pretty much everything else. That's where you found the
brown mold.
What the hell? The lurking strangler thing. That eyeball chain.
The eyeballs, but it also was where we found the brown mold that we couldn't do anything about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so only 2 of them are in the green. Okay.
Well, 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them are in the green. Water, sleepy room, bugs. Depending on what you consider the bugs.
Right, bugs. Okay. Sorry. Yellow lanterns, brown mold. Yay. The brown mold may be rough. The bugs may be rough. I mean, do you want to try the wind trap first? I kind of do, but I'm not like married to it.
What are we trying with the wind trap?
Figure out how to open the door without triggering the trap.
Didn't it move after us? It didn't. It was just the wind. It didn't move though, right?
So no. Once you stepped on the pressure plate, you can debate who stepped on the pressure plate. Basically,
Me. I took credit. I'm not giving it up.
Basically, so what ended up happening is that the face animated. So that kind of androgynous face, similar to the other faces littered throughout the cairn here.
Yeah, I'm not saying we'll spot the trap and we won't trigger it again.
Right, but it didn't move down the tunnel,
no,
right?
It animated, the turned into this like.
Why do we think it's a door?
Why would you just build a trap down a dead end hallway?
To kill people dumb enough to climb up there, like it almost did us?
That's a lot of work. I mean, with all the other stuff that could have killed somebody, it feels like a lot of work to me. But
I mean, sure, we can try it first, but I don't know. Like, I'm not sure it's a door, but we can try it. We'll just have to climb back up there, and then I don't know. Do we remember where I guess we could do. Do we remember where the stepping stone is?
Well, we know about how far we got before we triggered it. It was when we got close, when I went ahead of you to start checking out the wall. I don't know that I stepped on it. I'm assuming I did because I moved past you because I was excited. I was enthusiastic about taking notes and writing stuff down.
Sure.
I don't know that the wind trap's the right place. I mean, we can take care of 3 of the things in one spot if you want to. I don't know if I want to get trapped between the.
Well, that's definitely going to be so I guess we're discussing this while we're camping in the mine office before the rest. What do we have to do?
Brown mold first.
Do we have anything to do? Like, do we have any way to handle? Like, do you have anything that'll do anything to the brown mold?
Yeah, I have ice knife and frostbolt now.
The twirling of the mustache? Sure. I mean, I don't intentionally act evil, but maybe I need to grow out my handlebars.
I mean, in theory, I have things that'll damage it, and
okay. Well,
I don't think it's immune to your damage. We just don't want to use fire on it.
I I think hitting it is probably not gonna be the best way to get rid of it, but we could definitely go try. But yeah, we can try the wind first. Why don't we try the wind trap first? And then if it blows us out of the tunnel and we die, we don't need to worry about the other.
Oh yeah, then we don't have to worry.
The other two sections of the dungeon.
And that concludes our playtest of DC20.
Wind, my one weakness. Okay. So in the morning we get up, we get all of our shit on, and we go into the dungeon. Kind of checking to see what has changed, just in case anything's changed on the way to the blue lantern.
No, I mean, what the main thing that seems to have changed is that the area around the eruption of beetles, that stonework has been marked. It basically shows a lot of pock marks from what appears to be kind of acid eating away and all that kind of stuff. You also see part of the sarcophagus in the middle. It also looks as though they climbed all over that as well, leaving kind of ruining what looked to be a fine level of artistry.
All right.
I guess we huff it back up the chain again.
Yeah, we get to the blue lantern and go up the chain.
I'll let you go up this first this time because you're the one that's going to have to examine the door. So
I'm the one who's going to have to try to examine the door.
Well, I think you're probably better at it than I am. So,
yeah.
And unless some beetles moved into the big face tunnel, we know nothing's gonna like stab you.
Yes, we climb.
Okay, so one hand over the other, the chain kind of rattles as you make your way up to that platform. That, of course, the hallway looks exactly as you left it, other than with a little less dust. Obviously, that was blown away in the hurricane-like winds that followed you out, let's say. So, how do you typically go around? Like, how are you trying to find said activation spot here?
I'm assuming there's no dust because of the wind.
Correct. Yeah, that would be the most logical reason.
Yeah, like I said, I think I remember about where we were, before I charged ahead. So I've got the lantern up, and I'm trying to, have the hood kind of narrowed, so I'm focusing light on the ground to look for anything that stands out. Looking for worn edges. If there's is the floor smooth? Is it like stone? Is it?
Yeah. So just as kind of a reminder, because I know it's been a minute since we've been up here. So the passageway is fairly thin. It's not a huge passageway or anything like that. It's about 70 feet from where you are on, where you kind of like climb up to the edge of the passageway, and then that's between you and the face. You can tell that, and obviously as you look, you can see kind of what look to be long scratch marks in the floor, in the sides of the wall, as though something or had basically been drug backwards from that. And you don't know exactly what, but you could easily imagine somebody had like maybe tried to stab a dagger or anything really to try to slow their getting pushed back towards the fall there. What I would say is that if you are looking so basically you're looking to see what activated the.
Yeah, I'm walking slowly and trying to make sure of each footstep, and looking for. I got to imagine it's a tripwire or a pressure plate.
Okay. So, all right. So we'll get to you and we'll answer Agile's question. They're not very big. I mean, they're long, thin. Nothing. It is stone, so nothing like nothing like nails scratching on the stone or anything like that, but more long, slender scratches, one could say. Okay. Why don't you roll for me an investigation check here?
That I can do.
Okay.
Here's where it all goes right.
So the skill check formula is D20 plus your attribute plus your skill mastery for that.
Oh, that's right. I get an extra 2 for that, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Plus 5. All right. A 12.
Okay. So you kind of slowly make your way up, kind of like not crawling per se, but just inching up as slowly as you possibly can. Um, and so the you can tell effectively, like there's a part where you can see like the scratches start and everything like that, and you don't see scratches past a certain point. You do see what probably is the no. um so the you see what the how do I say it? You see like the scratches, kind of end and everything. And then there's of course an area where the stone looks as pristine as can be in a cairn as old as this. Um, you can't, however, find the exact location where the activation is, but you're pretty sure you found the area that it could be. So if you want to, you can obviously start poking around a little bit more into it if you'd like, but that's up to you.
So, does it look like there's a way to skirt around it?
You since you can't find its exact location, you don't know if it's like the entire width of the hallway or if it's even that in itself. I mean, it could be any number of ways that it's activated, but you're guessing, since based on how you activated it before, that it is a pressure plate. You know about where it is, but you're just not sure if you, without pressing down on it, you could easily step on it because you thought it was farther back down the hallway.
All right. So I have a light hammer.
Mhm.
I have a lantern.
Okay.
I'm going to get down and start like crawling.
Okay.
Okay. With the lantern on the ground. I'm going to tap with the hammer lightly, right?
Okay.
To see if I can hear any change in what the floor sounds like.
Mhm.
And then as I believe an area is clear, I'll slide the lantern forward 6 inches or a foot, and I'll move forward, and I'll, tap gently.
Okay. Oh, pretty smart. Yeah. So as you are tapping on the stone obviously has kind of like that clang clang, but very solid hit, or like a bong bong. I can't make sound of stone, obviously, so I apologize to anybody listening to that. Sorry, but you do get to a point in
I don't
which
think
you
you have
actually
to apologize. I think it's fine. I think
Where-
you
where
communicated the point.
where you get to a certain point and you kind of hit it and you tap it and it doesn't feel as solid as the rest. And
Do I see an outline of any kind, or?
No, it looks like the skill for this is so amazing that you can't see at all. It's like, when you see those like people that do machine work and they have like the stainless steel that kind of slides in and then it like the seams just evaporate. The same as this. You, without hitting with the hammer, you wouldn't be able to tell that there was something different about that spot.
So without moving, I want to tap a foot to the right and a foot to the left of where I tapped and heard the sound change, just to try to get an idea of how wide this is.
Okay. Kind of just using your hammer to kind of tap around to see what, that kind of a potential location for it. You do find that it looks like it extends the entire width of the passageway. However, kind of getting closer to the walls, the sound gets less, more solid, of course, as you get to, the edges, and it's less solid in the center there. Without going farther forward, it looks like basically it extends past your arm's reach to tell the depth of this activation plate.
Okay. I'm going to try to just mark where I believe the edge is with just some ink from my pack. I know it's not a perfect thing, but I don't. You remember that chalk, right, Brent? You remember the chalk? I told you to get the chalk.
You probably got chalk from your.
I'm just looking for a way to just kind of mark the edge, and I call them up and tell them it should be safe up to here.
Okay.
And I pass along that It's possible that if we got near the edges that we might not trigger the trap, but I can't tell how far it extends. I've only got, 3-foot arms, so I can't.
So, I mean, how far is it to the door from here?
Yeah.
So based on where you see, since I said the hallway is about 70 feet, the part that he's marking off is roughly about 10, like the part where he starts hitting is about 10 feet from the door itself. So there's about
And is there
10,
a door there that we can see?
or not the face, you know what I'm
The
saying?
face, right? Okay.
Yeah, not door.
Because it was the
face, 'cause
mouth that opened, wasn't it?
the mouth opened and blew at you, and you couldn't, I mean, in the meantime you couldn't really tell if there was anything behind that, but you did know that when the thing animated, obviously, Jeff, triggering one of your phobias of large people,
Yeah,
you were
no,
more concerned of
I was fleeing. I
nightmares.
was in flight mode. No.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, you still have that thing you did in the wall, right? That would be Misty Step out of character.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could try Misty stepping closer to the door and seeing how far the plate goes.
See if it triggers right at the door.
Well, I mean, what other options do we have? We can't spider climb over to the door.
We could try to shimmy down the edges, or I could.
Would we be more or less ready to get blown down the tunnel if you were all the way in front of the face, or if we were shimmying down the side?
When it happened last time, when I ran fleeing in terror, did you notice? Did the wind appear to be coming from the entire width of the hallway, or just from like 4 or 5 feet in the center? Do you know what I mean? Like,
is that a question for Brent or me?
It seemed like it filled the hallway. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Because I was like, if we could go down the sides and get, the wall goes across, and if we could get in like one of the corners, the wind may not impact us.
I mean, yeah, we could try to walk. I mean, we can try and walk on the edges. How close did you hammer all the way out to the edges? Did you test the edges?
Mike implied that I did.
Yeah, he hammered all the way out, and he found that it was more solid on the edges, but
doesn't mean it won't trigger. Yeah,
that's the question.
We don't know, because we could run and jump. I'm not saying there's not additional trigger plates. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, that's why I was suggesting that if you Misty Step over towards the door, we at least know that we're not jumping on another trap.
I can do
that. That was my concern. Is we can there's probably a plate somewhere, and it might end like a distance before the door, and then I could jump it. Because how good are you at jumping?
Depends on it's like everything. If I have to do athletics, like shit. If I have to do acrobatics, not so bad.
So just to make sure, your jump distance is equal to your agility, and so a running jump. After moving at least 2 spaces, a creature can perform a long jump or a high jump. If performing a long jump, it can double. It can jump its distance in spaces, and if performing a high jump, it can jump its distance in feet.
And athletics doesn't do anything to help that.
It does not appear.
I have a +2 to agility. I don't actually have acrobatics.
So I suck at jumping more than you do.
But my jump distance is 2, and so that's 10 feet, and that's about what we are from the door.
Yeah.
So in theory,
because I have a 1 in agility, so
I could jump. I'm just going to try the Misty Step thing, Mike. How do you want to rule that? You want me to spend a mana point? Is that 1 mana point or 2? Or
let's see.
It's 1 action point and 1 mana point.
Okay.
I can teleport up to 5 spaces, so I assume I can teleport 2 spaces.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I think that if you wanted to think about it, first of all, there's a couple options we could do here. So those people that are reading the most recent playtest rules and everything like that saw that wizards do have spell school initiate. If your spell school in this case was the lightning and teleportation list, you could effectively reduce its cost by 1, so you could basically cast it for free, but then you'd have to wait till a long rest, or
I'm okay spending the mana point. And the action point not in combat is kind of
it doesn't matter.
I'll keep track of it that I'm spending it, but I'm it's kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
Outside of combat,
you're just basically going to try to get as close as you can to the.
Yes, I want a Misty Step right next to the mouth, and I if we trigger it, I guess.
Okay.
I tell my companion to be prepared to run, I guess,
or fall, one of the two.
No, run. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it.
So, out of curiosity, do you guys want me to determine by audience what the trap distance is? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Should they hit the trap? Okay, so basically Misty Step going all the way towards the door. I'm just making sure there's nothing I have to think about for that. So in this case, yeah, go ahead. So the
maybe
Agile was good knowing you. That's funny. So you go ahead and you Misty Step, getting to the door, and so when you basically touch down on the stone there, a moment hangs. Another moment comes by,
and then the mouth opens and swallows you.
No, nothing happens at that point.
One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Okay, I guess we're okay.
Yeah,
I guess.
Now, can you do the same thing on that side where you test the bricks until you get to a point where it sounds different?
I'm going to kneel, just kind of like lower. I'm still on my feet, Mike, but lower my torso,
Well,
and tap around myself with the hammer to try to hear what the ground sounds like.
Very solid, much like in the earlier part of the hallway.
All right. You know what? I am going to turn and face Brent and try to do what I did while, tapping out to try to get where the edge of the pressure plate is.
I just want to know how far I have to jump.
Yeah, because you're going to have to jump at some point, potentially.
Okay.
I just want to establish some parameters.
You handled the strangler so well and stuff by yourself. I think you're probably fine. I'll just wait back here.
Yeah, I'm probably pretty good. Yeah.
I'm officially I would officially be what's that Nodwick from the comic books, just carrying loot. That's what I do. Just hang back, carry loot. I'm the henchman now.
Cover the retreat. Cover the retreat. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's got to protect our exfil. So let's go. No, I just so Mike, I want to crawl back, tapping the hammer to try to get an idea of how far, if he needed to jump, how far it would be.
Sure. You established that it's they're level 2 adventurers. We're hitting the max level in the alpha playtest. But you established that it's about 5, maybe a little bit less feet in width. So basically from where your original chalk outline are, and you effectively can mark out what would be a band of it all the way across the floor.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I should be able to jump that. That's just a square. That
all right. Let me look at the door and see if I can figure anything out to make sure there aren't any other traps. Can I investigate the face, Mike?
Sure.
Looking, the light up against the, trying to look at the details, trying to take my time. Looking for anything that looks like a hinge or a catch or a lock or anything.
Sure.
We'll see. 17.
Okay. Yeah. So as Brent patiently waits on the other side, and answers chats, you basically look at the face that's on the it comprises pretty much the entire wall. It has that same androgynous look like the other faces, like I said. And as of course you get closer, you see that there is a pattern of rune work around the edges. That's actually quite small, but there is in the center. You see kind of like right under the the chin, that similar mark that you've seen in other parts. Not the mark you saw in the sarcophagus, but the mark that you've kind of seen just throughout the cairn, indicating kind of a probably the same person as you discovered these glyphs kind of mean. Now, the actual investigation of the mouth, you don't actually see that there's anything that looks like a trap or anything like that. However, you do, as you kind of like get to the mouth itself, the mouth being kind of like only gently open, you see that there is a wall behind the mouth, but as you kind of like trace the outline of it, you do feel that wind is being kind of pushed through probably what could be a seam, a very small seam. That's, you can kind of feel like a little bit of air transferring between this room and possibly another room. However, you don't see any switches, levers, or any way to open it. And when you push on it, it feels like rock solid.
I don't know. I mean, we got to. I yell back. I'm not seeing anything. You're a dwarf. Any chance that you're any good with stone?
I couldn't get through the wall, remember? So no.
Walls do tend to be Brent's kryptonite, it seems, so far this adventure.
You can't read the you can't read the runes that are familiar.
They're in the same style as the runes he's already made tracings of all over.
Yeah, I recognize that they're the runes that we've seen through the temple, but even Alistan couldn't really decipher them.
But Alice, we have something that Alistan didn't. We had the runes that made the elevator come back down. Is there anything like a rune that looks like that? Like that means open or change or?
No, you don't see a similar.
Are they carved in, Mike? Or are they painted on?
Carved in. Yeah.
Carved in.
There may have been paint in there at one point, but at this point it's just the color of the stone. And I like them plenty. I mean, I'm not sure what I would do here to show my affection for them. Ooh.
If you know what, I'm gonna tap lightly on the wall in front of me with the hammer.
Okay.
Nothing bad could ever happen by tapping directly onto the trap.
Obviously, you have to reach up its nose to find the answer.
Sure, I have to pull the silver nose hair.
It's like that old kids show where they had to run through the maze and like do all sorts of shit to the Aztec faces.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to reach up its nose.
No, I'm just trying to see if there's any other place that feels hollow other than like I believe that in the center where where the wind, where I'm feeling the breeze, that might sound a little hollow, but I'm really kind of trying to see if there's anything else that I hear, any difference in the sound.
So it does. So the actual stone here does feel fairly solid. I would say that it doesn't feel as solid as say the walls that you were doing there. But as you're listening to the various sounds, obviously acting as you are a dwarf listening to each of the sounds of the stone.
He's a gnome. I'm a dwarf.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a gnome.
I said acting.
Don't insult me. Yeah.
You do. I mean, it does feel like as you get close to the edges, obviously you feel like the sound changes a little bit between them. But really, it's fairly solid stone. Definitely more than, and when you push on it, it feels like it's fairly well locked in place.
So I look at you, Brent, and I cock my eyebrow and I go, "You feel like jumping over here and trying my corner idea?"
Like as in we set the trap off?
Yeah. You run straight for the corner, trigger the trap. We'll both live or die together.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
Well, I'm not saying it sounds great, but I did give you one. What do you think?
Sure. I jump over there.
Okay.
We're gonna try the corner idea, Mike. Believing that possibly everybody else got captured, like kind of in the middle of the hallway.
Ooh, I got captured in the middle of the hallway. Okay.
Sounds breaking up. Agile Monk says a little bit on me and Brent.
My internet seems to kind of suck tonight, so
Sorry if there's any sound issues. I'm not hearing them. Are you hearing them, Mike?
I don't.
Okay.
So I
Well, that
apologize.
doesn't
I'm
mean.
sure it's on the stream.
Yeah, it's got to be on the stream. All okay. Sucky.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure. We do all live in very odd internet places, so it could just be our internet giving us a little bit of trouble. So we apologize if that's the case. Uh-oh.
My triangle's green again in the it's yellow again.
Quick waiting second. One moment.
Okay, Mike's trying something. No, Monk's gonna exit and come back.
Okay. Yeah. If anybody else is experiencing the same thing, please let us know. Because I don't have any boost the signal options. We just have to pause and come back or something like that. But we'll see if that solves Agile's experience there.
And thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Part of the reason that we're doing this live is so that people can watch and hopefully get something out of it. How does the sound? Yeah, sound check. See if
check.
Sounds better now. Okay.
So we'll continue our folly.
Suicide plunge.
Folly. The
It's
wind
a theory.
Gust, the wind gust folly of 2024.
Yeah, it's a theory.
Okay. So I guess
the wind when the wind pushes the face down the hallway and basically stoppers us out of it, that'll be optimal. Hit by the wind, but the face pushing us kind of sucks.
Sounds better.
And where'd that dragon come from?
Okay. So I guess at this point, explain to me exactly how you're approaching the face in kind of and now touching the pressure plate. You guys just like jumping on it and
me jumping over. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, you said I thought you were going to.
You should just run towards me and trigger it. It takes a second for the thing to open. It's 10 feet.
How about we?
You want me to throw my hammer?
That's what I was going to say. How about we scrunch up as much as we can against the wall on either side of the face, and I don't know, throw something, a pack or a torch or something.
Okay.
Or torches until the pressure plate works.
Throw torches. Okay. Well, so you throw the torch. So that's all you're doing. You're basically just getting close to the wall, throwing a torch.
That's Jeff's plan: is hug the wall as close to the face as we can.
Yeah, as close
with
to
the thought
face,
that the air coming out is going to be a cone.
Yeah,
and it'll miss us. Is the
or
thought.
Not be as strong and not move us. Like we'll feel it, but not.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So as you start tossing,
Mike loves this plan. I can tell. He loves this plan.
Like, all right. So you keep tossing gear. How much gear are you going to toss onto that band that you've identified as possibly a pressure plate?
Well, I'm just gonna toss a torch, and if I don't think that works,
if the torch doesn't work, I will try the hammer, Mike. I will toss the hammer with some force.
Okay. Clink, clink, clink.
Okay, yeah, I'll step on it and then run back.
Okay. So you just basically like put your full weight on it for a moment and then try to run back to your your Spider-Man pose. Okay. So
it's not really Spider-Man pose. I mean, it's like this, right? And the face is like right here. Mm-hmm. And we're like stuffed in the corner as much as we can go next to the side of the face.
Yeah.
Back to the.
Okay. So basically you press it and the same exact the same exact sequence of events seems to happen. Since you guys are not really, because you guys are kind of facing the same direction as the face at this point, I assume.
Well, no, we're looking at each other. Like we're on
side of it.
Yeah, we're on the sides of the tunnel.
Okay.
Looking at each other with the face.
Yeah, that's what we mean by the corners. Like
like jammed as close to the wall, to the face and the wall as possible.
So the okay, so you basically see the exact same sequence of events start to play out. The face, kind of like I almost get that like Aladdin thing, when the stone tiger starts to move and like everything like that happens. Same thing, the face kind of animates, contorts, and everything like that, and turns into a, kind of a like it opens its mouth, and instead of a scream, it starts to blow wind. Um, since you guys are so close to it actually and you're looking for those types of things, you do see that the eyes themselves are kind of glowing and kind of like various light patterns and stuff like that, but since you're kind of off to the side, it doesn't seem to, you can't see the full thing that's happening from the front. The one thing that you do,
the important part here, Mike, is do we get blown the fuck away? Like, that's the important part.
why don't you go ahead and make some physical checks for me, because it's not in the beginning, it's actually much easier than it was when you first encountered the face, because obviously that was coming straight on. um but the but the but now that you're kind of off to the side and the wind keeps on increasing and all that kind of stuff, we'll just go ahead and make a physical check.
Like, just to save.
Mm-hmm.
So is that plus anything?
So physical check is that basically it would be like a might check or agility check or anything like that. And it should just be like
So mine
your
should be like
attribute
1d20.
plus the D20 plus yeah, so it'd basically be your best physical stat for keeping it attached to the
All right,
the
so
wall.
a D20 plus 2 in my case.
Yeah,
D20
and I
plus
mean, there's a possibility, like in some cases, you might find that you add your combat mastery to these types of roles, but in this case, I don't really feel like that's the situation you're in. Ooh.
That's kind of fitting. So I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 15.
Okay. So nice. So basically, in the beginning, you both feel like you're holding on and everything like that. However, once the wind continues to escalate its strength and its magnitude, eventually, Jeff, you feel kind of like a pulling motion, and like you feel kind of pulled into the hallway. And before you have a chance to really adjust yourself, you start um, tumbling down the hallway effectively. Like you start losing your feet, and all of a sudden, like you just kind of like, how imagine when you see something in like a car window and it just gets blown out the car window. That's effectively you're that piece of paper blown out the car window from the wind passing by. Brent, being a more sturdy make, manages to stay attached to the wall. And
We should have tied ourselves together with the rope. I almost said
I thought
that.
about that too. Yeah, I
Okay.
almost said
But
that
we
too.
didn't. Go ahead. That's fine. What happens?
Okay, so at this point, really, it's going to be it kind of depends on what you would like to do, but
As I start getting pulled out in there, I look at Brent and I go, "Get in there if you can."
Okay, I don't try and grab him then, like I was going to.
No, that'll just make us both go down the hallway.
But like, the face isn't moving or anything, is it?
it's animated. It's like I said, it's kind of like that. Kind of.
I mean, moving back or forth or anything like that. Animated, it doesn't help us at all.
Like, what do you mean moving back and forth?
Like, is it moving like I can push it open or anything?
Oh, no. So it's more like a face that looks like it's alive, kind of thing.
That's an interesting idea. And Charles Tabor says, "Misty, step back to the corner if you have time."
Yeah, that might be a good option, or at least try.
Well, it potentially gives me another roll, right? Because I do. It does. Normally normal casting is a DC20 spell check. I don't know if I'm going to have time though.
Okay, let's see. Lightning and teleportation.
I'm gonna try pushing on the edge of the door and stuff too when I get a chance while the wind is blowing, see if it moves or anything at all.
The face doesn't really, other than the moving that it's doing to make the blowing. Okay, so yeah, why don't you? I mean, that's actually a really good idea. The duration.
That is. Thank you, Charles. I should have thought of that.
If you want to go ahead and do that. And just as a reminder, spell checks are DC plus your D20 plus your prime modifier plus your combat mastery.
So my combat mastery is 1, right? So that would be 4. And 8.
Okay. In an attempt to, so basically, what you kind of do is as you pretty much like are blown down past the part that is like the trap and everything like that, the big pressure plate, you do attempt to Misty Step. And one of the things that's really cool about the magic system here is that when you spend points, usually you still get something from the deal. You get to go 3 spaces. I think that's 3 spaces, right? So if you fail Misty Step, DC20 spell check, success, you teleport up to 5 spaces. Success, each 5, you get plus 2 spaces, and failure is only 3 spaces. So playing this as cinematically as we can. Okay. Well.
Yeah, Misty Step is filthy.
Well, it's a good utility. It's like
it's a very good utility spell.
Yeah.
So depending on the reaction that you have here, I'm going to say it doesn't get you back to the corner, but it gets you to the square where the pressure plate is located. Brent, basically what you see him kind of get sucked off the wall, and in a matter of just a moment, he kind of turns into this mist, and basically reappears just a few feet forward. You can tell that he was hoping to get a little farther because he kind of gets sucked into the wind immediately upon rematerializing in that section. I'll give you a turn to see if there's anything you'd like to do to try to help the situation.
Is there anything that I think I can do without getting sucked into the tunnel?
Throw a rope.
Yeah, I can try and throw the rope to him. I'll do that.
So why don't you make for me a martial check to see if you can get the rope to him and all that kind of stuff.
Martial check would be.
I couldn't think of anything else that you could do.
Would be +5, right?
For your character, yes.
Nope. I either hit you with the rope or I just threw I basically just threw the rope down the hallway,
I think the funny part about it is I imagine that if you would have rolled a critical failure, I just how you asked for that grappling hook. I can imagine you be like, here, catch this.
Yeah, catch this. Yeah. I look like the guys on those deep sea fishing shows that put the hooks through their legs.
Yeah, I like to think I just rolled it right. Just threw it right past him.
So your accuracy, you spent more time concentrating on not losing your own footing, so your accuracy was just bad. So you have sent a rope down the hallway, but now there's a rope kind of dangling down the hallway, and obviously Jeff is starting to tumble backwards. The wind is picking up in intensity, and pretty soon we'll feel like that gale force wind that you had felt towards the end of last time. But Jeff, I will give you the something you see here is as you kind of got closer, you did notice that the wall behind the mouth, it didn't open all the way, but it looks as though there's a somehow it, in order to generate the wind, it opened partially, and it looks like it's funneling the wind. And I hate to use it like a Dyson fan, but it looks like there's a small opening, probably no larger than a child could go through, but it does seem as though there's now an opening in the mouth area. In fact, it might even be you could possibly get in there, but it might be like a really tight fit for Brent if he could fit it all.
Wait, so there's an opening in the mouth where the wind is coming from?
Yeah, so like imagine like the as the mouth animated and everything like that, an opening ever so
the wind's got to come. The wind's got to come from somewhere.
Right, but what I'm saying is getting through there while the wind is blowing is like sounds nigh impossible.
Sounds pretty tough.
Unless you can misty step through it somehow, but you have to get close enough it again to see through it.
Well, if I can see it now, I just don't know if I can misty step again before the wind carries me too far away.
Can you see through the other side, or is just out of curiosity?
It looks like it's black on the other side, so you don't actually see the destination. He just sees that the stone behind the door is open.
And I'll just yell for him that there is a there's an opening in the center. Probably sounds more like there's an opening in the
But I mean, there's yeah, sure, but there's no way to like do anything with it. With the wind blowing, like if I step in front of the face, I'm just going to be in the same position you're in.
You know what? And as buddy cop systems go, I mean, really, that's the right move.
Sure. I don't think I can like.
Can you jam a shield in there?
I can't see it at all, can I?
Can you jam a shield in there? Deflect the wind.
While he's debating that, roll me a take a point of damage, Jeff, and roll me a
no, take a point of damage.
Roll me a martial check. So in this case, you don't have athletics or acrobatics, but you do have a 2 in agility, so that would probably be your.
Yeah, I have a 2 in agility. All right.
I also can't see it, so reaching over there is just like me blindly reaching into the mouse of this thing, right?
It would be true, yeah.
15.
Okay. Wow. So basically, somehow Jeff, is kind of like twisting and turning and going down the hallway. And Brent, as you're kind of like, what the hell do I do right now? You all of a sudden feel this tug as Jeff grabs one hand onto this rope, and you can see him, kind of like he brings the rope down, and he's obviously pulling on it tight, but you're anchored. He's anchored to the rope, and he's obviously getting buffeted by ever increasing winds.
Oh, well, I'm going to try and pull him back then and forget about whatever he said about the mouth, since I probably didn't hear him clear anyways. Okay. What do I need to roll?
Yeah, you're just going to straight up go with a martial check on that.
Why would that not be an athletics check to haul him back towards me?
Martial check is either athletics or acrobatics.
Yeah. 16.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard, and you feel your back burning as like each time you try to pull in the rope and keep yourself anchored to this side wall, you're pulling this gnome up. You just and Jeff, you were just getting tossed around. In the turn it takes between the time for him to pull you back and the time you get back to the face, though, there is one more extra point of damage there, because you actually start like kind of flying against the walls and starting to get buffeted against the stone there.
One more point of damage.
Like a gnome in a wind tunnel.
And then you basically are both kind of like cuddled up closely against this side, still feeling this immense amount of pressure trying to pull you down out of the tunnel. And then what do you do?
Wait for it to stop.
Okay. So once the wind reaches its crescendo, obviously it blows all the dust again out of the hallway. You hear like the kind of like it stopped, just kind of like shuts off, and then since you're so close to the mouth, you hear kind of like this. As I include my sound effects, I should probably just get a sound effect board.
Or I don't know, find a free sound effect library on the internet.
Yeah, and then now I have to figure out how to add the sound effects.
I know.
Not technical here, but at least we have somehow the ability.
So that happens fast enough that we can't really jam anything in there.
It's pretty quick, yeah. Like, I mean, as you guys are kind of recovering from yourselves, it just maybe a few seconds.
All right.
You could, if you tried to put something in there, you could probably wedge something in there. But it
well, you
sounded
kind of
like
know where it is, so you can try it if you
Yeah.
have something to stick in there.
Yeah, I can try. I don't know. I gotta have a spike or something. I can't tear his shield off his arm or off his back. And I tossed my hammer. I would try to jam it with that.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would have, if I'm being honest, in my adventurer's pack.
and to be truthful, your hammer,
Yeah, it's down
It's
on the floor now.
down the hallway. Yeah,
the torch and the
I know
hammer.
that. Yeah, yeah. No, I know. That's why I said I didn't have it. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that I would have. But now that I know where the opening was,
I can try and jam the end of the grappling hook in there based on his directions. Because it's a metal grappling hook, so I could try that.
Give it a shot.
You want me to roll, Mike?
If we fail, we fail.
I probably just I'll ask for another martial check in order to make that happen. So basically, going through the same process for this, because it's going to be
that's goddamn ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of what else it could be, but
oh no, I rolled, Mike. You should go roll.
You rolled a 24.
I rolled your martial check. It's a 24.
All right, on. Okay. Well, good work. So you go through the exact same process as before. Your grappling hook, I mean, it's not super long, but it is probably 8 inches maybe in total depth. You stick it in there and
go ahead. Stick it in there. Jam it open.
You kind of just take it, shove it into there, wait for the door to wait for the thing to close on it, and it closes, and you can hear the metal kind of strain as one of the heat kind of breaks off under the pressure for it, but it does hold after a moment unsteadily.
So I light up torch and shove it through the hole, so we light up the other side.
Okay.
You know what you can do now, because you can see the other side.
Well, yeah, depending on what we can see.
All right. So 1 second.
Misty Step becomes the same problem that flying becomes.
It's an interesting solution to problems, honestly. I hadn't really considered how versatile Misty Step would be. Obviously you consider it when it's in your face, but I mean, I like playing with Misty Step and Baldur's Gate. Why didn't I think this would be a problem?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those. It's one of the reasons why I picked that spell school.
But I will say that again, you're going to be on the other side of a door and me going, okay, well now open it, and there might be no way for you.
And I'll go step on the pressure plate,
and then just jump in.
No, we can feed the rope through.
Let's see what happens from this side.
Yeah, we'll tie a rope before I Misty Step. I'm tying a rope around my waist, right?
I
don't know how that works.
I think this.
I Misty Step and the rope stays where it is.
I think this also, well, there is that. That's a good point. Well, I can feed the rope through, and you can tie it to something, and then maybe I could climb through it while it's gale force winds are blowing me vertical as I try and climb up the rope.
That would be great.
But yeah, I think we're in the same. Misty Step to the other side and see if you can find a way to open it again.
Making me want to watch Twister. I'm gonna have to go watch that afterwards.
So
chasers, let's go.
So based on your viewpoint, you get a very strange, kind of a very strange look. So so what you see is a room that it's longer than your torch's light actually shows. In the center, you see what can probably be a 3-foot wide beam of petrified wood. You can see kind of like the grain, but it also looks like it's stone, and it leads straight ahead into darkness. Below the beam, you see what you can almost make out are like little balls that kind of reflect the light and everything like that. And then on the the two side walls, you see kind of a honeycomb of geometric patterns.
Looks perfectly safe. Nothing weird there. Go for it.
How much distance is it in feet?
How much in distance is what in feet?
The closest place I can see to land.
Oh, not very far. I mean, like the mouth.
I think more direct question is it
more 15
or less than
feet or
3
less?
feet?
Because if I fail, it's 15 feet.
Is it more
if
or less
I don't
than 3
fail,
feet?
it's 25 feet.
It's 15 feet or less would be the easiest place that you would get.
Okay, then I'm going to Misty Step in. I mean, we're committed, right? This is you got to commit to the bit, right?
Right, we've committed at this point, yes.
Okay. Yes, I will Misty Step, and those mana points are bleeding away.
Is Misty Step a cantrip?
No, it is a full spell. I'm keeping track of my mana points.
Well, here's one of your arguments for fancy and magic right here in a game.
It is, but I mean the mana points I think are pretty helpful in this.
Here, sorry, let me roll. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, you don't need to roll unless you actually are planning on trying to get farther than that.
No,
so I mean,
I want a minimum. So
yeah, because in this case,
we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a critical failure problem that you would like. I guess you could critically fail, but
I guess whatever. I could. So,
but that I'm not worried about that. Okay. So using your Misty Step, which is obviously your spell of the session, you kind of like evaporate and kind of like on the other side of the mouth. Now there isn't very much of a platform that you can tell, and what you can kind of see is that the mouth, basically the width of the mouth, it only extends maybe about a foot into this room before it narrows into that 3 foot wide beam. And so so basically as you kind of are like, I would assume that you kind of just would get to the beginning of the beam. You wouldn't try to Misty Step onto a like a balance beam.
No, but 3 feet's pretty wide. I'm only 3 feet tall. I could literally lay on the beam.
You are very, very
crossways.
Small. Yeah. Yep. So. Ooh.
So I pick up the torch and hold it aloft and see what I can see. First, assuming that the wall is kind of safe, so I'm trying to look at the rest of the room, just to verify the description that you said, make sure there's nothing else in here with me.
Okay, so
like the honeycomb, that's the bugs, the acidic bugs that are now going to eat you.
So let's see. 1 second.
Yeah, in a perfect world, I would have landed like right where the torch was, picked it up, look, and then either try to help him come through or open the trap from this side without triggering the wind.
All right. So as you kind of proceed into the, are you going to kind of walk down the beam, I guess?
I'm just trying to, no, I'm going to the edge of the beam, looking to see if I can see any dangers. And if I don't see any dangers, I'm going to try to get Brent in.
Okay. So the beam itself, it doesn't look as though there's any dangers. However, so do you have a source of light at this point?
We threw a torch through. I picked up the torch.
Yeah. Okay. So as you look down, it basically
Brent now has the lantern.
Yeah.
As you kind of like hold the torch above the it's actually a pit. You see countless iron spheres the size of large oranges, based on your guess, seeing how far it is and everything like that. And it forms a fairly irregular looking floor at the base. kind of like the worst version of a ball pit. You could see, because they look like they're solid, you could use it as a way to cross possibly, but you're not sure if it's entirely solid based on what you're seeing.
And the beam, how far above the balls is it?
A second.
Nope, now he's back. Did you hear me, Mike?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, did I go somewhere? I apologize.
You disappeared off of mine. Maybe it was me that glitched.
I was astral traveling.
No, I think it was me and Brent that glitched, because I've got the stream up on my phone, and you were the only one showing for a second.
Damn that Montana internet.
It extends about 10 feet below the beam. Yeah, I just saw you guys vanish again. Uh-oh. Are tech gremlins coming to get us after all? Oh no.
All right. Well, if it looks safe, I'm not going to worry about the pit at this point. I'm going to try to see if there's any.
Looks clear.
Well, I know, but I
love that movie.
The party's still separated. Our focus should be to get back together.
Okay.
I yell at you that it looks clear, and I'm trying to see if there's any way to open the trap, because the wind was so powerful, because it seemed to be focused. Can I tell where it's coming from, or can I tell anything on this side?
No. Like I said, when you get to the opposite side, it looks just like a stone wall. You can see some discoloration that looks like the slab that comprises the actual wall itself, that separates it from the rest of the wall that is on this end. But you can't, like, if you were looking at it from this way and it was closed, you would just see what looks to be a small.
So the opening that he might be able to fit through. It's too
yeah, small. I can't fit through it.
So it's like
unless we like tried to push it down, but it doesn't sound like it's actually hinged. It sounds like it's magic, because basically it looks like a solid wall on the one side, right?
Well, it apparently looks like a solid wall on both sides, which doesn't make much sense.
Magic. Always the answer is magic, Jeff.
Well, but I mean, no, it would make sense if it slides down on our side. It would slide down if it was like a pocket door. Like, it would look like that on our side.
Yeah,
but
if the wall slides somehow.
It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like it is magic, because if it's on the other side, it just looks like bricks, and then there's a hole where the grappling hook is like stopping the bricks from reforming. Like, that's definitely magic. So, I don't know how
Maybe,
we're gonna.
I don't know what kind of magic makes solid bricks appear and disappear on command.
I mean, could you do an insight check to see what type of magic it is? I mean,
well, you do have some options here. Let's see what's on your character sheet. So you basically, what your goal would be to kind of understand a little bit more about the type of magic that could be at work here.
Yes.
Okay.
That feels like Arcana, doesn't it?
Sure. We could do it.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
It would. Yeah. I mean, if anything, it's going to be Arcana.
It's not occultism. An 8.
No.
Back to the good rolls.
You're back to the good rolls. It was one roll that sticking the grappling hook into the wall. That was your best roll of the night.
It was something.
That was Brent's. The grabbing the rope was my best roll of the night.
And Misty Step isn't castable on other people, or
no,
we can't like hold hands.
No, it literally is just me.
Okay. So, as you guys are kind of like examining the hole, Jeff.
Yeah.
You hear kind of a whisper by your ear. Wow. I didn't believe anybody else could make it.
Who said that? And I turn and raise the torch.
And you hear kind of a giggle that pulls away from you. You don't see anything.
Who said what?
I heard somebody say, "Wow, I didn't think anyone else could make it."
Weird.
I don't know if they're alive or dead or crazy at this point. So I'm basically on a piece of land that's like a trapezoid kind of thing, triangle maybe, right?
Yeah, I
That
mean
goes
that,
to the beam.
and then of course it goes up to the beam effectively. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming I can see all of the stone part of the floor, so there's nothing like in my immediate vicinity. I don't know how high is the ceiling?
The ceiling
Higher than the
was-
torch illuminates, or
let's see. Not the ceiling's about 20 feet tall. So from the beam to the ceiling is about 20 feet. So it's about a 30-foot tall room from what you can tell the top
Okay.
and bottom.
with what my torch illuminates, how far I can't see where the beam ends, or
not from your location, no. So like you'd have to get onto the beam to.
All right, I yell over my shoulder. I'm gonna go see if I can find the source. Give me a moment. I'm gonna try to like.
I'd stick my arm through the hole and give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna walk out on the beam with the torch up. I'm in the center of the beam.
Okay.
And I'll continue kind of trying to. I mean, I'll try and examine the wall, but see if there's anything that I can do on my side to open it. But I'm kind of not good at it.
Yeah, I believe no. Yeah, I'm gonna walk out. Let's say I'm gonna walk out 10 feet and see what else. See if I can see the end of the room yet.
Okay. So as you basically step out onto the beam. Oh, that was. I think we had a different torch that was lit and then put.
Yeah, we lit it afterwards and threw it in the room after the wind went out.
Yeah, because there's a torch also at the bottom of the.
Yes.
Bottom of the.
I think we each have 2 or 3 torches. So yeah.
So basically.
Or I could have just thrown a firebomb in there, I guess, if necessary.
Just light the platform on fire.
Yeah,
yeah, wood burns, right? That ought to light it up good.
Good news is we would have light. Bad news is I don't know how safe it is for you to go over there.
Walk through napalm. So Jeff, as you start your trek, onto the pillar, you hear kind of like a thump, almost like when you have like a potato gun, and all of a sudden something ejects out of it. You hear it kind of like once, twice, kind of almost like picking up, boom, 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 and you start seeing a hailstone of orange-sized, large orange-sized iron spheres starting to fly across the the beam.
The beam.
Yep. So,
do they appear to be in a line or random or?
Well, they basically start as soon as you step on there. So I'm going to need a save here.
Are they going across or towards me?
They're going. So basically, from the one side to the other, they're shooting both directions, like almost chaotic, and all that kind.
I'm sure it's just paintballs. You'll be fine.
All right. So Marshall save or what? What am I doing?
Who's from Montana? I think most of us are going to be from Montana. Yes. So let's see. Would a martial save be the best one here?
Well, it's acrobatics. I mean, it incorporates acrobatics, right?
It does. I think martial save is probably what my brain can handle at this point. So
just martial saves.
Yeah, martial check. It seems like that's a
17.
Yeah. So basically, as you like step out, you start seeing these things just flying across your vision. Since they're basically, like you know how iron is kind of shiny, whereas like hematite is kind of dark and almost blackish, right? They look like they're more the color of hematite. Hematite.
I thought it was hematite, but I don't know the pronunciation.
I thought if they were orange, they were going to be hot. So that's, a little bit better.
So, but you basically, as soon as you step on, just even a couple steps, you basically jump back and notice that like where you were, some of these iron balls kind of go flying across the way. Somehow it doesn't seem as though any strike each other midway, but you can tell that as they're based on their trajectory, they kind of hit various places and they kind of plunk into the pit below. And so in your ear you hear, oh, that was close, wasn't it?
I look up and I go, you could have told me that was there.
No response.
What's your name? Suit yourself.
What's the gnomish phrase for shithead?
So the ball, like,
basically,
do any of them fall where I could pick them up or look at them and investigate them, or do they all just like shoot across?
They shoot it like basically. There's not enough platform for them to fall onto where you're at, but you have a pretty good view of them from when they land and everything like that. It looks like just like I said, a filling ball pit of these.
How far are the sides away? Like, can I see now that I know that that's there? Can I see what they were shooting out of? Like, is it just like a hole in the wall?
There's just kind of like a honeycomb of cannons, like geometric patterns.
They're part of it's part of the honeycomb.
So it looks like that, like the hexagons or whatever it would be. That's where these iron balls were shooting out of.
How close can I get to the hexagon thing? Not close. Okay.
Because basically the platform ends, and then maybe about 8 to 10 feet away from you on each side, that's where the wall is. You just don't have any way to get to the wall itself.
That's fine.
But you notice that you do notice that the hexagon pattern and everything like that seems to be just below the beam. Wow. I think we'll probably wrap it up soon. My brain is already mush. Okay. Just below the beam, you see the hexagons.
So did they fire from all different levels?
Mm-hmm.
Or did they seem to be at like...
It didn't seem to recognize you were a gnome, if that's your question. It just seemed to recognize you.
Did I get the impression that I could get on my belly and shimmy across without getting struck?
No. You would probably be a slow target, but it does seem as though maybe one would hit you, since they seem to be kind of at every level.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Did any hit the plank? Did they do any damage to the plank?
They didn't do any damage to the plank, but they did hit it.
Okay. I am going to belly crawl to the edge of the, not the wood, but I just want to look down into the pit.
Okay. While you're doing that, Brent, what are you doing? This has been an awfully Jeff-centric session.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
That's what happens when I leave the group.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I told you, I'm just kind of checking out the door to see if I can see anything that might indicate a way to open the door, like just pressing on the face and everything, just making sure I'm not touching the thing behind me.
You can't seem to find any lever or switch.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'll continue just to make myself feel better and busy.
Okay. So you basically look over the edge.
I just want to, put the, torch down, just trying to look at the ball. Like, do they seem to be floating, or they just seem to be piled on each other?
They seem to be piled on each other.
And and the honeycomb only extends down a little bit below the bridge.
Yeah, below the beam.
Beam, not bridge. I don't really want to jump down there because I don't have a way to get back up. And I can't tell if I could get across.
I feel like that's a good idea. I feel like that is a good assessment in this case. Obviously, you just need to make it shoot balls until it fills up the ball pit.
That's it. I just need to stand off to the side and just keep quickly touching my foot onto the beam and pulling back
until it fills up.
I only have to succeed.
However long how long do gnomes live? They live quite a while.
Yeah, what I got to do 100 successes on 100 checks in a row. That's no problem with my +2. That ought to be great. I look up and I go, does it get lonely in here?
Let's see. They don't react. The voice doesn't react.
Really? Not at all. I think it would get lonely. How many people have you watched die to the trap?
No reaction.
Well, there's only one bag of bones down there.
Well, if you don't want to talk, I might have to leave. I'm going to go over to the entrance and Misty step back to Brent.
Okay. You Misty step.
I will pass the information that I learned to Brent, but like without both of us over there, and I can't figure out a way to do it, unless we had something to wedge the gap open far enough for you to get through.
Well, yeah, all you could do is Misty step down the rail maybe until you get to some place that you are safe, but that you might not be safe at the other end.
Right. I feel like what would happen is he would Misty step, and as soon as he materialized, he'd get brained right in the.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, if you crit succeeded, how far can you go? It's 15 plus what?
Well, it's
5
for
plus.
Agile Monk's got a good idea. I'm gonna grab some food and toss it back through the hole and yell in there, in case you're hungry.
You hear the very faintest of giggles.
And I look at you and I go, you realize that looked real crazy, right?
Did you hear the giggle?
Did I hear the giggle?
It sounded like maybe the wind.
I just shrugged.
It giggled at me. And you're like, whatever, sure. Boss. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So why don't we go ahead and wrap up there tonight? You guys are flexingly staring at the mouth of madness, wondering what to do next. And
I know what to do next. Leave the hook there. That's for sure.
That's fair. And we'll go ahead and wrap that up that place.
Sounds like a way to lose. Grabbing that hook sounds like a way to lose fingers.
Yeah, it sounds bad. It sounds bad.
So, well, that was fun. Definitely under how do I say this? Unexpected approach for you guys to take. I'll just say that. I feel like I should have expected the unexpected.
I feel like there weren't any clues to handle that any better.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you could tell us how we were supposed to do the trap later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's interesting when you go through some of these older adventures, because there are definitely some tactics and styles that they use to write them. I think it'll be we'll have like kind of a fun discussion as to how it goes, because I do feel like in some ways not every game goes like the Hell Pig game that we played, but it does feel like you guys keep me on my feet always.
Well, I always told you
we're so inept that we
players get dumb pretty fast.
So that's DC 20.7. I think next week we'll probably still be doing this one.
Hey, Peter.
Good
to see you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. I think we'll still probably be on the alpha next week, but I think the beta will be out. Maybe Agile can say if that's actually accurate. But I think alpha on the 1st of July, but then the beta will be out like on the 6th, maybe. And then I think I don't know if I'll have time to have read everything by then to really be able to use it, but you can see how it goes from there. So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
yeah. So that's I think it for us tonight.
Yeah, appreciate all the contributions in chat. It's always fun.
Yeah.
You get suggestions or just conversation. So we appreciate that. Beta's at the end of the Kickstarter. Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be seeing how this goes. And I feel like that, and I guess I'm not sure what to expect with the beta, but maybe Agile can let us know if how much more expanded the rules will be from that perspective. Because I think will the beta be like most of the rules at that point, like exploration, social interaction, combat, all kind of wrapped in one, or is it still going to have some openings there for stuff that's going to come in the final product? I mean, I probably should just ask Alan if just say, "Hey, Alan, what's actually in the beta?"
Yeah, you probably.
We'll find out. We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, Agile Monk. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody
Thank you.
He says the beta will have that stuff. So
yeah, thank you everybody for joining us tonight.
Yep. And of course, anybody that's watching this after the fact, if you notice any glaring mistakes in how we run the game, or any just mistakes in general, please let us know, just so we know how we can improve our game and kind of improve our system mastery for this. Because obviously we're amateurs running this game, just having fun, because this is we're just amateurs, I guess. Oh, good. I'm sure he's super busy, but he must just be on cloud 9, considering now he's got now it's funded. Now he has the real work is obviously ahead of him to get the project going and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But he must be a busy person, especially since it seems like D&D is doing a lot of counter programming. I don't think intentionally, but they're doing a lot of, like, there's a lot of stuff related to the new D&D book that's also coming out right now. I feel like that's what my YouTube streams look like.
That is correct.
Ooh. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah. So I think we'll go ahead and call it a night there. That's about our 2 hours of streaming. Awesome. This is the working. Peter, that's a good question. Honestly, I have not had a chance to look at it, but it's on my to watch list, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly extensive change to it. I'm actually kind of excited to see what it entails, truthfully.
Yeah, I've got to watch that tomorrow. I didn't get a chance. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Personal life. But yeah, I think we're all going to watch the stream to get Alan's thoughts and see what's going on with the weapons overhaul. It sounds neat. So
yeah, because I was in the Discord today, and the conversation was pretty wild. Just people talking about all the different things that were coming up and all the changes. Obviously, if you haven't joined the DC20 Discord and you want to kind of get in with like-minded people, I definitely recommend it. It's a pretty cool little place. So a lot of people talking about DC20 on there right now.
And if anyone wants to pick up DC20 and you haven't yet, and you listen to this now or later, we do have an affiliate link in the show notes. So
yeah, for the Kickstarter at least. I'm sure once everything gets going, we'll have a DC20 store link or something like that. Because he's, we're not getting. How do I say it? We're an affiliate, so however that works, but not like he's not buying ad spots or anything like that on the channel.
Nice.
Right. But we want to like so.
Yeah, Peter liked the overhaul, so that's good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it had quite the buzz on the Discord, so I was pretty excited to kind of. I had no basis for understanding what was happening, and so they were way outpacing in terms of what was going on. There's something about flak cannons and rogues happening or something like that. I don't really get it, but I'm sure I will after that. So yeah, I think that's any other questions out there. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Again, I know we keep saying that, but it's still true.
Oh yeah, we really, really appreciate it. So appreciate everybody stopping by. It doesn't matter where you are and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll catch you again another time.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll talk soon.